And so I thought I would ask our panelists how you got into this. And let me start with Dave first, because Dave, you're firmly footed on the university side of the fence, but yet you've reached over onto the industry side, and I think have had some successful partnerships. So tell us, kind of walk us through how you got to there and why it was important to you.
Sure, Marty. So for me, I think through networking, I had made a couple of contacts that ultimately resulted in some industry work. As a young guy, when I first got to ECU and started setting up my research lab, really the first why was because it brought some funding into the laboratory. Work with industry usually starts quicker and ends sooner than a traditional NIH grant. And as a young guy, I found that it was a good way for me to quickly try and generate a little bit of revenue to help me kind of get up and running for the, for the greater lab that I was trying to build. So I got into it just through some contacts. So I think networking helped me get my foot in the door. And then that working with industry let me stay in the house because we understand their needs. We try and do everything really quickly. And so I think my initial relationship has turned into a long-term relationship with one company in particular. So initially I thought it was a great opportunity just to get up and going off the ground, and actually would not have predicted that it would have evolved this way over the course of the last 6 years.
Bob, you're on the other side of the fence. Your career is a long-standing career, is firmly footed on the industry side, but you've had a very long track record of partnering with academia. Maybe you can talk with us about how you got to that place, and then maybe how you connected with ECU.
Sure. I have two answers to the why. There's the greater answer, and the greater answer is a collaboration, a broad collaboration between academics and industry is the best, I believe, strongly believe, the best means to an end. And the end is what we've all signed up for. As MDs, we sign up for relieving suffering, treating disease, managing patients, and I think the best way ultimately to achieve that is new therapeutics, new managements, new ways to manage patients, testing the way we currently treat patients to make sure that in fact they're valid and indeed useful, and as a PhD, rigorous advancement of knowledge, right? And the best way I believe to do that is to go where the best expertise and techniques and tools are available, and in almost every instance, they don't exist exclusively in your own lab. Even labs with hot and cold running graduate students, a dozen of them, still are lacking on something to efficiently, expeditiously, reproducibly advancing their research. So that's sort of the broad answer to that. In my own case, I was in industry. I had a job of identifying new targets and translating those targets, and a wide variety of tools are needed to do that. And here at ECU, there happened to be a predictive animal model, primate model, a non-human primate model of the disease that was of interest. And those animal models here at ECU, or other models existing at other academic institutions, allowed me and our research groups to test pathways, pharmacology, and one can argue about the positive predictive value of animal models, but it's unquestioned, it's unequivocal that the pharmacology in those animal models is useful. The pathway identifying nodes is useful. So that's the broad reason why I think all of us should be interested in collaborating across academics and industry. And that's specifically how I got into a collaboration that lasted. It was very profitable, productive, 6 years, I believe. You can tell me because you managed it. I think about 6 years.
It seems like we've known each other that long, or maybe longer. We've been on the university side and how it's benefited Dave. we've been on the industry side and how it's benefited the work that Bob has done. Roy, you're right on the fence. You've been startups, you've done industry, and you've counseled universities and helped them evaluate their research and the outcomes of it that might be patentable. So tell us about what life is like being on the fence and how you got there.
It's fun, okay? So my role, especially now, is to help facilitate interactions between academics and academics in different disciplines and bring them together, or industry with industry. So an ag biotech company with, for example, a genomics company, sort of bringing them together. And then it's also academics with industry. So it's my role now is to try to identify what are the strengths, what are the opportunities within the university system, and match them with what the needs are for industry. So from both sides, I'm trying to find out what you may be working on and other opportunities that could be used. You work on mitochondria in cardiac and electrophysiology. When I was at Syngenta, I was in this group called Insect Control, and they do I didn't do it, but others did electrophysiology of insect cells because that was the mechanism for killing them. And those sort of non-obvious applications of your technology that's where I try to help and bring those together. And then from industry side, we're trying, especially large industry, they have the big companies, they have so many projects ongoing, they don't know who is out there. So our role is to talk to a big Fortune 500 company, find out what are their needs. I know somebody that can do that, I'll introduce you. And that's what we're trying to do. And it's fun. I get to, my real interest is new technology and transferring it into new areas of research, being the first to apply it in something that's fun and sexy, and just thinking outside the box beyond the really narrow confines of traditional academic or industry research.